Hi everyone, Sierra here, also known as Planner Friend on Instagram. I've been wanting to do a video on stamping and ink usage in our Erin Condren life planners, notebooks, teacher planners and stuff. And a lot of questions that I get from people that are either new to stamping or just getting started are, what type of ink pads are best for the Erin Condren pages and the paper inside. Because a lot of ink pads, if you're not familiar with how inking works and the different types, they can have a tendency to bleed through the paper, which isn't good when you're using the back sides of paper for planning. And so I will say I don't have a lot of experience myself personally with pigment and dye inks. Those are kind of your standard ink pads. I think that probably grew up with, you know, using the bigger kind of square ink pads, and those I'm not going to go into too much of that because it doesn't really apply here, but I did happen to kind of through happen chance and luck find out that chalk ink is the best to use in my planner before I bought a single ink pad. So what I'm going to kind of do is tell you guys my experience, and you guys can kind of decide which ones will work best for you. When I first got started, I ended up purchasing a color box Pedal Point. It's a chalk ink pad. And the reason why you want to use chalk, which both of these are that I'm going to review today, is because it has the least bleed through to the other side of the page. It kind of sits on top. They tend to be a little bit more muted than some of the pigment, you know, standard kind of ink pads, but they're beautiful, as you guys can see here with the colors, which I'll go over in just a minute. But they're really great. I love them. And what I love most about some of these smaller sizes is that they're so much more portable. And so a question I've been asked by a lot of people online is, how the heck do you use these things? So what I'll do is I'll kind of just show you really fast. This particular brand, Color Box, is available on Amazon for about $12. I know you can get it at places like Michael's and Joann's. But what's cool about these is these little guys, these petals, pull out. And so how you would use them, have the stamps that I use the most are the StudioL2E. This particular one that I used for these flags is the List It stamp set. And so I'll show you exactly what I do. So these acrylic stamps are great. You just peel off the one that you want to use. And you use these acrylic blocks, and you just lay it on top, push it down. And these acrylic blocks come in a bunch of different sizes depending on the size stamps you're using. I believe this one is either a small or medium. It's probably only 2 inches wide. This has worked perfect for me for all my planning needs. I don't use larger stamps, so this one works great. And a little tip that I will give you guys, through doing a lot of stamping, chaos tends to ensue on my desk or wherever I'm planning at because I have stuff everywhere. This clear block gets lost all the time, and it would be maddening when I'm halfway through my planning and I can't find the block because it, you know, is hidden underneath something. So what I did was put some washi tape on the outside, and it makes it so much easier to find because you can see the blue. I think I'm actually going to go with something even more vibrant, like a red or something, because it still gets lost, but it's much easier to find when there's something on it. So that's a little tip for you guys. So anyway, in traditional stamping, you would pretend this is an ink pad. You would dab your stamp onto the ink pad and then, you know, stamp. The way that these work with these little dewdrops is you would dab it on where you want. Make sure you've got full coverage, and you will get ink somewhere on the stamps and the acrylic block, but that's okay. You just wash that right off. And then you just turn it around and you stamp it, and ta-da, there you go. So it's pretty easy. You do want to clean them quite often, you know, right after using them. I personally use so many stamps all in one sitting that I have a bowl of water usually sitting by where I'm at, not too close to my planner, of course, God forbid something spill on it. But I wash them off, and then I use a kind of a lint-free towel to kind of blot them dry. And then I do kind of a more thorough cleaning when I'm done stamping. But you do want to, they pretty much just water and like a mild soap works, and then letting them air dry is the best. So you also want to do that every so often. If they start to lose their cling to the acrylic or the plastic page that they stick to. Just wash them with water and let them air dry, and they should have their cling back. So that's how you use those. And the great thing about the color box is for really inexpensive, you can get a wide range of colors, which you can see here. And these actually are really wonderful for the colors, complementing the colors in the Erin Condren Life Planner. I really didn't need more than this, but the reason why I decided to kind of upgrade was because these guys have a tendency to shadow and bleed through. So I'll go ahead and show you this right now. Not sure if you guys can see very well, but you can see them quite strong, and in some areas they actually start to bleed through. And I have noticed that when I'm planning, it really bugs me. So for some of these darker colors, it was almost impossible for me to use them on my planner. So the VersaMagic is way better. There is some shadowing, but the likelihood of you using such a really large block of like a night sky or eggplant, which seem to be the ones that shadow through the most, is highly unlikely. So, you know, give or take, you could always choose to use the lighter colors, whatever you want. But the color box is, the color box isn't a bad choice. If you just want to get something that's easy, portable, don't want to think about it, it's not bad. So that's how those fare up in the shadowing and bleeding realm. So the VersaMagic, these are really great. These are kind of dewdrops, small, used in the same way that I just showed. And these come in a lot more colors. I don't have them all, but I have quite a bit of them. And I'm going to be using mine for art journaling as well. So I wanted to have a little bit more of options here for colors. So that's why I decided to go with these. And again, because they have less shadowing and bleeding, I'm going to be using these in a planner that has very thin paper. And so these just work way better than the color box. So these are available online and in craft stores, usually around $2. I think I got mine for like $1.50 on sale, or $1, gosh, I don't even remember, on joann's.com. And I'll put links to these in the down below so that you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. You don't have to go on a wild witch hunt looking for them on your own. But they do go on sale quite often, and these are really great. I love these. And so what I'll do also down below is I'll list which each one of these colors are, and I will have a close-up photo on my Instagram account. So if you are curious, you know, if there's a color that you like and you want to know which one it is, this will be a lot easier for you to decide, you know, or to know which one it is so you can buy that. So one of the things I wanted to do was I purchased this white. I'm a huge fan of using white pen on any of my my stamping flags or my sticker flags. These white gel pens are amazing, and this is from Jelly Roll. It's an 08 Sakura Jelly Roll, and I'll also put a link to that as well. I believe I got this at Michael's for about $2. I know they're online in big packs. I love this pen, and that's actually what I use to write on each one of these. So it's kind of fun, something different. I also use the Sharpie black Sharpie pen, and this is the Sharpie marker, I believe. And this does not bleed. Well, kind of. There I am eating my words. I also did some extra highlighting over it. So typically though, it doesn't bleed. But I wanted to show you guys what this white looks like when you stamp onto an existing stamp color. So it's great, you know, it's not very strong, but what I have done in the past is I've used my Jelly Roll and I've gone over it, and that actually makes a really big difference. So it's not gonna do a very good example right now, but anyway, you kind of play with that. If you go over it with the white jelly or the white gel pen, it actually gets a lot stronger. So, you know, I don't know, I'm not crazy about it, but it's kind of fun. I do play with it from time to time on my stickers because I feel like it performs better on my stickers than the stamps. I feel like when the wet stamp goes with the wet ink flag or stamp that I use, it tends to reignite the ink below. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that, how that performs. So let's see, I believe we've kind of covered everything. I do want to kind of show you how I'm using stamps inside my planner. And this one's kind of crazy. stuff everywhere. But this is from the beginning of December. And the stamps that I use, again, primarily are the StudioL2E, and I'll put a link to her website below as well. And I own a good portion of her stamps. I will be doing some videos on how I use these top boxes, because I have done kind of a hack with her weekly spread and where the morning boxes are to create goals sections, and a lot of people have asked me to do a plan with me video, so I'm in the process of getting that together. So I'll put a link to that once that's up in the comments area, and I'm also going to go over how I use these weather stamps, because that's not in her weather stamp kit. This is actually kind of me thinking out of the box and getting a little creative with her rated set, so I'm going to do that as well. So keep an eye out for that video if you're interested. But it's really great. Reason why I like using the stamps is because it's just fun. There's a lot of like creativity, a lot of ways that you can use them. And I tend to get bored, so I like to use a bunch of different colors. And as you can see, it's just, you can do so many different things with them. They're a little bit of an investment in the beginning, but I kind of figured the amount of money I would spend on stickers through some of the amazing sticker vendors on Etsy for planners would get so expensive after a while. So this way I can play with them and do what I want with them. I am toying with creating pre-made stickers because I've used a lot of whiteout, which has been kind of hard for me. If something gets canceled or whatever, there's not a whole lot of room for changing things around. So that is the downside, but I'm gonna buy some full page Avery removable stickers and pre-stamp some of these ones that I use fairly often as far as like planning my days and appointments and that kind of stuff, and then cut them out and just keep them in my planner, so when I do plan, it'll be a lot easier and faster. Honestly, it does take me a little bit longer to plan when I stamp the whole weekly spread in one sitting. So anyway, I wanted to go over this with you. I hope you guys find it helpful. I really love using them. I don't see myself changing what I do anytime soon. It's a lot of fun. Again, a lot of different ways and variations that this can go, and everyone can have their own kind of unique flair on this. And so anyway, hopefully this was some help. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you like the video, be sure to like it. And I would love to connect with you on Instagram. I'm at Planner Friend on Instagram. I share a lot of this stuff there too, close-ups of the photos and whatnot. And thanks again. Be sure to check back for those other videos, guys. Thank you.